Under a dark, starry sky, the time for action had arrived. Two figures carrying torches hurried through a deserted village, driven by a burning need for vengeance after their clan's destruction. Hidden in the shadows, Jin Seowoon sprang into action, a blade flashing in the moonlight, fueled by the same thirst for revenge. A fire crackled ominously. A lone guard stood watch, unaware of the danger lurking. Jin Seowoon sprang into action, his movements swift and deadly. Focused and determined, he quickly subdued the guard. Knowing time was short, Jin Seowoon prepared to move on, anticipating the inevitable alarm. A fallen guard lay silently on the ground as Jin Seowoon disappeared into the darkness. A meditating figure sensed the commotion outside. Jin Seowoon stood over a fallen warrior, accusing the meditating man of heartlessness. The man retorted that Jin Seowoon was equally heartless, acting rashly. He likened himself to a climber, unconcerned with the insects beneath his feet. A white-haired man declared that staring at the peak is how one reaches the pinnacle of martial arts. Kang Wunshin, with glowing eyes and facial wounds, vowed to kill his opponent. He unleashed a powerful, glowing blue attack, Heavenly Demon. Jin Seowoon unleashed a powerful lightning-wreathed attack, yelling, Heavenly Lightning Fist! The force of the blow sent shockwaves rippling through the air. Jin Seowoon braced against the aftershock of his own attack, was shrouded in crackling blue energy. He taunted his unseen opponent, challenging them if that was all they had. Scarred Man unleashes a fiery attack, urging someone to watch and learn. The attack intensifies, a blazing beam of energy descending with terrifying force. A blinding flash of energy erupted between two clashing figures. A pained grunt escaped one as he was struck. He realized his opponent was wielding sword ki with bare hands. His attacker declared he would send him to his father. The attacker unleashed a devastating blow, ending the fight. He reacted with shock. Jin Seowoon unleashed his Heavenly Divine Palm attack, a surge of energy erupting from his hand. The older man, his fists hardened, was incredulous that his steel-like defense was broken by Jin Seowoon's bare hands. A surge of blue energy exploded from a figure. Jin Seowoon, bracing himself, was caught in the blast. The force of the attack sent him flying backwards. Darkness briefly consumed the panel, the impact echoing. Seowoon, rising, gathered electric, blue energy around his hand. Furious, he warned his opponent never to insult his father again. Jin Seowoon, fueled by righteous fury, unleashes his power. The white-haired elder regrets not eliminating Jin Seowoon's sect. He marvels at Jin Seowoon's unexpected strength. Shocked that his heavenly demon blood surge art failed, he declares that Jin Seowoon has forced his hand. The elder prepares a final, desperate measure. Jin Seowoon spotted a glowing elixir. A concerned onlooker worried about the consequences of consuming such a powerful elixir. The elixir shattered, releasing a burst of violet energy. The energy enveloped a long-haired figure, seemingly causing a demonic transformation. The white-haired man grunted in pain as a powerful force surged around him. A blinding purple energy exploded outwards, engulfing him. The energy dissipated, leaving darkness. Jin Seowoon cried out, wounded and reeling. The white-haired man, his eyes blazing, called Jin Seowoon a child. A powerful figure with long white hair unleashes a devastating purple energy attack, declaring it's time for someone to disappear. Jin Seowoon, his face bloodied, realizes in horror that he's too late. He desperately shouts and erects a glowing green barrier to defend against the onslaught. The white-haired figure continues his assault, his purple energy colliding violently with Jin Seowoon's vibrant green defense. The impact throws off sparks and debris in a dazzling display of power. Jin Seowoon, cloaked and wielding magic, unleashes a powerful attack. A man in green is awestruck by the late mage's power, apologizing for the nickname. Jin Seowoon asks if this is the enemy the man had mentioned. The man explains that this newcomer claims to be from another world and saved his life. Suddenly, the perspective shifts, revealing a thought bubble. Someone is bewildered by the sudden appearance of a high-level mage in what they thought was a typical Murim story. Jin Seowoon, 23, enjoyed reading, but found the book's ending ridiculous. He introduced himself and his current situation, recently discharged from the military and preparing for college. His phone buzzed with a game invite. Seowoon was annoyed, but seemingly accepted. He'd had grand plans for self-improvement after his service. However, he got distracted by the pleasures of civilian life. Jin Seowoon, pondering his finances, considered getting a part-time job. A Murim novel enthusiast, he often dreamt of being a protagonist. At the internet cafe, the attendant greeted Seowoon, asking about his usual game, Loyal Ground. Seowoon confirmed, requesting 10 hours of playtime. He revealed he'd become a top 10 player in Loyal Ground after leaving the military. Logging in, he told his friend to meet him in the game lobby, mentioning tournament winnings supplemented his income. He launched Loyal Ground, ready to play. 100 players jumped from planes into the survival game. Jin Seowoon, sporting his blue jacket, grinned as he plummeted. Working his futuristic device, he spotted 2 remaining players. A skull-masked man opened fire on another player. The shot hit its target. Seowoon realized only 2 players were left, him and the masked shooter. Jin Seowoon snapped at a noisy teammate, reminding him of his past death. He urged the group to focus on looting and finding the safe zone. One teammate nervously expressed his trust in Seowoon. Seowoon then wondered about the masked man's whereabouts. Checking a nearby building, he realized the masked man hadn't been there yet, as the loot was untouched. A masked man spots free loot and approaches a glowing figure. Suddenly, the figure attacks. The masked man falls. A notification declares a teammate's death. Panicked, another player flees the scene, realizing a hidden enemy was responsible. He sprints down a hallway, desperate to escape. Jin Seowoon, in his blue jacket, wins a battle royale, thanking his teammate. He stretches, ready for another round, but decides it's time to get serious about studying. A text from his mom, sending academy fees and a little extra, makes him pause. Feeling guilty, Seowoon tells his gaming buddies he's quitting, prioritizing his studies over their planned clan war. Walking home at night, under the neon city lights, he reflects on months of gaming and procrastination. Jin Seowoon scrolled through his phone, reading a news report about people with mysterious powers calling themselves players. Suddenly, the page vanished, leaving him confused. Deciding it was a glitch, he put the phone aside, ready for sleep. The next morning, Jin Seowoon walked down a sunny street, seemingly oblivious to the purple energy swirling around his feet. He heard a friend's voice asking for help preparing for a clan war. Someone pondered whether to help Jin Seowoon in one final game. Jin Seowoon, seemingly surprised, looked up. His expression shifted to shock as he noticed something. A brilliant, mysterious light engulfed him. His backpack fell to the ground. A blinding flash of light engulfed Jin Seowoon. Disoriented, he wondered where he was. He found himself standing in a vast field, surrounded by a diverse crowd of people in various attire. A towering, armored figure loomed over him, its face obscured by a helmet, questioning its own identity. Jin Seowoon was startled by a sudden bright light. He wondered if this was some kind of punishment for giving up on his studies so quickly. He woke up in a strange place, disoriented by the noise and commotion. Confused, he noticed people around. Him seemed to be dressed in costumes. A powerful bolt of energy flashed nearby, alarming him. Jin Seowoon was utterly bewildered, questioning if he was dreaming. Jin Seowoon found himself in a strange new place, surrounded by a crowd. A system notification alerted him to the presence of 100 players. A voice echoed in his head, startling him. As the system initialized, a language synchronization completed. Confused, Jin Seowoon wondered about the voice's origin. Suddenly, he realized everyone was speaking Korean. Excited, he exclaimed about the shared language. A warrior eagerly confronts his sect's enemy. Seowoon, in his blue jacket, watches from the sidelines. A blonde mage argues with a hooded figure, blaming each other. The mage, now furious, declares he won't be fooled any longer. The hooded figure, revealing a skeletal face, proclaims, "Everyone will kneel before the Demon King." The mage, radiating magical energy, vows to kill his opponent, and then the Demon King. A blinding flash of escrow-style lightning engulfs a blonde-haired man. He's shocked to find himself unharmed. Jin Seowoon, in his blue jacket, confronts a hooded figure, accusing them of dragging him into this strange place. Seowoon realizes this intensely realistic experience isn't a dream. A game interface appears, announcing the start of a survival game, easy difficulty, with the goal of reaching the top 90. Various characters, including an older, bearded man, appear as the game map loads, skipping the tutorial. Seowoon recognizes the familiar map from a game he played, stunned by its real-world manifestation. A helmeted figure explains the rules of Cloyd survival. The game lasts 20 years, the map shrinks, and only one survivor remains. Players who aren't in the top 90 can't play again. Jin Seowoon, in his blue jacket, listens intently amongst other players. He wonders if he's dreaming about loyal ground. He stands with other players as the game begins. Jin Seowoon appears determined and focused. Jin Seowoon, surrounded by powerful figures, wonders if this is all a dream. He fears death, even in a dream, realizing the danger he's in. He thinks of a game called Log and considers his options as a timer appears. A gruff man yells at him, demanding to know his origin. Seowoon is questioned again, more aggressively this time. Suddenly, a game notification appears. The game is about to begin. Jin Seowoon, in his blue jacket, laughed maniacally, infuriating his opponent. He mused that this felt like a thrilling dream, a game he could win. Confidently, Jin declared he'd use his knowledge of the log abilities to survive. His opponent, enraged, began to yell, but was cut off by the official start of Cloyd Survival Day 1. Jin Seowoon was thrust into the chaotic game world. Players were dropping into crowded, item-rich areas. Jin Seowoon, however, decided a less populated starting point would be safer. He chose a quieter outskirts location and prepared to descend. Jin Seowoon yelled, "Descend!" and dove towards his chosen landing spot. He landed with a burst of energy, ready to begin his survival game. Jin Seowoon landed roughly, disoriented from motion sickness. He quickly decided to seek shelter in a nearby house. Entering cautiously, he realized his vulnerability without a weapon. He worried about encountering enemies unprepared. He worried about the swordsman he'd encountered earlier. He strained his ears, listening for any sign of pursuit. Relieved by the silence, Jin Seowoon decided to search the nearby house for supplies, remembering the instructions to loot the landing zone. Jin Seowoon spotted something and reacted with curiosity. He acquired a heavy crossbow. Though cumbersome, he acknowledged it was better than nothing. Instinctively, he understood its operation. Straining, he confidently lifted and aimed the crossbow, remarking it was no challenge for a South Korean army sergeant. He prepared to fire. A brilliant light flashed, catching Jin Seowoon's attention. Impressed, Jin Seowoon realized the item's potential. He searched further but found nothing else of use. Jin Seowoon observed the vastness of the map, seeing it as an advantage. Running through the open field, he noted the benefit of starting without immediate enemies. Jin Seowoon, crossbow in hand, discovered a glowing scroll, a system message. Alerted him that it was a small healing scroll. He considered the need for more recovery items, hoping to find an item bag soon. His attention was drawn to a glowing book. Another notification popped up. He obtained the Black Star on Palm's martial arts book. Intrigued, he wondered if learning it would trigger a tutorial. A surge of vibrant purple energy erupted. It intensified, radiating outwards with immense force. The energy dissipated, revealing Jin Seowoon looking surprised. He questioned if that was all there was to it. Purple sparks dancing around his hands. Suddenly, a searing pain shot through him, his hands glowing crimson. He looked down, at his hands in confusion and alarm. Jin Seowoon, enveloped in purple energy, executed a powerful spinning martial arts move. A loud cracking sound followed as something shattered from the force of his attack. With a confident smirk, Seowoon triumphantly declared he had mastered a new martial art. Jin Seowoon, pleased, found martial arts manuals and hoped for magic books too. He mused that the world he was in felt familiar, like a game he knew. Having thoroughly searched the area, he decided to move on. Daybreak caught him by surprise as he realized he'd been busy farming, and he urgently sought a hiding spot. Jin Seowoon noticed a lone house with its lights on. He realized the lit house meant either valuable loot or other players. Jin cautiously entered, crossbow at the ready, unsure of who or what awaited him. He listened intently, but the first floor was eerily silent. Jin Seowoon wondered if his targets were hiding on the second floor, considering an ambush. He crept upstairs, crossbow at the ready, prepared to use his Black Star chi palms. Spotting a lantern in a seemingly empty room, he questioned if it was a trap. He cautiously entered the room, his suspicions still high. Jin Seowoon kicked something hard, sending debris flying. He landed, breathing heavily and looking around intently. Seowoon slumped against a wall, relieved to be alone after a tiring display of strength. He seemed to be checking a small, round object in his hand. Jin Seowoon examined a ring, curious if it was an item. He realized the ring boosted his strength significantly. Putting on the ring, Jin Seowoon was shocked by how much lighter he felt. His crossbow suddenly felt weightless. Jin Seowoon pondered the implications of his increased strength. He checked his stats. His character information appeared. He wryly noted his pathetic stats and questioned his classification as a martial artist. Jin Seowoon, impressed with his progress, admired his new possessions. He decided to explore the first floor thoroughly. He found another ring. Noticing he'd been acquiring several of them, he realized the ring was a subspace inventory, a convenient alternative to a bag. He activated the subspace, amazed by its strange and otherworldly feel. He appreciated its convenience and the fact he wouldn't need to carry a bag. Jin Seowoon admired an item, wishing he could bring it back to the real world. He checked the survival game's interface for eliminations. Discovering only one person was out, he considered his strategy. Having looted numerous houses and hidden weapons, he debated whether to move or wait for daylight. Jin Seowoon recalled the powerful figures he saw before entering Cloyd Survival. He knew he couldn't fight them yet. His plan was to hide and reach the top 10. That way, he could boost his stats like he did earlier. He decided to explore one last spot before sunrise. Despite constantly moving, Jin Seowoon felt energized, thanks to his new ring. He realized even with increased strength, he still felt hunger and thirst, just like in real life. His stomach growled, and he wondered if he could find any food. He hoped the city would have something to eat. Jin Seowoon, checking his map, was puzzled. The houses should be here, but the area was deserted. Suddenly, a menacing growl echoed through the forest. Seowoon froze, eyes widening in fear as he spotted a monstrous werewolf emerging from the shadows. Shoot! He thought, preparing to fight. The werewolf lunged. Jin Seowoon recoiled in shock as a monstrous creature lunged at him. He frantically dodged the attack, cursing his luck. Panicked, he ran, realizing this wasn't the PvP game he'd expected. He regretted leaving his safe spot, lamenting the possibility of dying to a mere mob as a ranked player. Jin Seowoon spotted a house and rushed towards it. He slammed the door shut, breathing heavily. A menacing growl echoed from outside, growing closer. Seowoon's face twisted in fear as he realized the threat was approaching fast. He clutched something in his hand, panicked and unsure of what to do. Peeking through a crack in the door, his eyes widened with terror as the growling intensified. A growling beast sniffed the air, hunting for its prey. Jin Seowoon, realizing he was the target, prepared to strike. He notched an arrow. His eyes narrowed in concentration. With a determined cry, he loosed the arrow, a streak of light piercing the darkness. The arrow flew through the night, aimed at the unseen target. A monstrous creature roared as it fell, defeated by a powerful blast. Jin Seowoon, wielding a strange weapon, looked determined as he noted his enhanced strength thanks to a ring. He readied himself, focused on taking down the final remaining enemy. A chilling roar echoed through the area as a fearsome beast with glowing red eyes lunged toward him. Jin Seowoon braced for the final desperate clash. A monstrous creature lunged at Jin Seowoon. Seowoon cursed, dodging the attack. He retaliated with a swift kick. The beast roared, undeterred. Seowoon wondered if this was the end. He defiantly refused to give up. A powerful attack rips through subspace. Someone unleashes the Black Star Chi Palms. Jin Seowoon, battered but determined, refuses to lose to an underling. Jin Seowoon, relieved, narrowly escaped death thanks to a hidden dagger. He worried he'd embarrassingly lose to mere mobs. He discovered a loot drop, but his excitement turned to disappointment. It held only water and jerky. Annoyed, he decided hunting was a better option. Finally, he considered exploring his surroundings. Jin Seowoon discovered a piece of armor. He wondered if it was like the vest from a game he played. Trying it on, he found it a bit large. A notification appeared, confirming he'd equipped the advanced orichalcum breastplate, boosting his magic resistance. Thrilled with the stat increase, he searched for more items. Finding nothing in an obvious spot, Jin Seowoon suspected a hidden item might be nearby. He reached for something that felt like cloth. Jin Seowoon equipped a night cloak. Excited by its camouflage and stealth capabilities, he realized this cloak would be essential for survival in the dangerous world. Confidently, he imagined avoiding everyone he encounters at night. He decided it's the best item for staying alive. Later, coming across a house in the wilderness, Seowoon realized it was a farming spot. He felt his luck was improving on his second day. Alone in a misty forest, a cloaked figure wondered if his isolated drop-off point was random. Jin Seowoon, breathing heavily, was frustrated by his current predicament. He glanced down at something in his hand, wishing he had time to use it. He spotted another person, a mage, through the trees. Assessing the mage, Jin Seowoon decided he could easily handle him. Jin Seowoon, gripped by fear, reminded himself it was just a game as he aimed his bow. Urged on by a desperate voice, he unleashed a fiery attack called Escrow's Flame. The target, engulfed in flames, screamed in agony. Seowoon stared wide-eyed, wondering if his attack had been lethal. Shocked, he processed the aftermath. A chest appeared instead of a body, confirming the game-like nature of the world. A man in light clothing, seemingly annoyed, wondered who stole his loot. Jin Seowoon, hidden by a cloak, slipped past unnoticed. Chiron, the man in light clothing, lamented the other player's fiery death. Jin Seowoon admired his new cloak's effectiveness. Chiron, boasting, approached the chest. Jin Seowoon realized he could be next, his fear growing. Jin Seowoon, realizing the deadly stakes of hesitation, made a crucial decision. His eyes hardened with resolve as he understood survival demanded action. He looted valuable items from a fallen opponent. A powerful red-haired man unleashed a devastating attack, pleased with his loot. The impact shook the surroundings. The red-haired man, noticing a witness, cursed someone for attracting unwanted attention. He blamed the commotion on another person. Jin Seowoon, bracing against a powerful attack, felt his defense weakening. A red-haired man, seemingly frustrated, demanded Jin Seowoon reveal himself. He launched a fiery strike, bellowing a challenge. Jin Seowoon's counterattack was a swift, bright flash of motion. Jin Seowoon, cloaked in a blue jacket, moved with blurring speed. A red-haired man roared in frustration, shocked by a sudden barrier appearing. Seowoon attacked, swift and unseen. The red-haired man unleashed a fiery attack, screaming in rage. Seowoon's attack pierced through the flames, striking the man. The man gasped, defeated. Jin Seowoon, after a fierce battle, emerged victorious. Hoping to avoid unwanted attention, Seowoon decided to loot quickly and leave. He opened the mage's chest first and found some useful healing scrolls. He also found a gold necklace, but was disappointed to discover it was just a decorative item. With no special properties, Jin Seowoon discovered a glowing stone. A system message notified him he obtained a circle's stone, which allows its user to use mana. Realizing the stone's potential, Jin Seowoon wondered if it could turn him into a mage. A flashback showed a cloaked, injured person lamenting their lack of time to use the stone. Jin Seowoon understood why the dying person said those words. With a determined look, Jin Seowoon decided to honor the previous owner by using the stone himself. He then stashed the rest of the loot in his inventory, planning to examine it later in a safer location. Jin Seowoon, searching for a suitable location, decided a secluded spot was perfect for his needs. He chose to use the circle's stone, a game item. A warning appeared detailing a 3-hour immobilization period and potential slight pain. Jin Seowoon confirmed his choice. Agony racked his body as the circle formed, far exceeding the promised slight pain. Hours later, the ordeal ended, leaving Jin Seowoon exhausted and shaken, believing he had nearly died. Jin Seowoon pondered the difficulty of learning magic. He checked his status. He realized he now had a mana stat and 2 job classes. Expecting a slight drop in survivors, Jin Seowoon checked the survivor count. He was shocked to see a massive decrease. He questioned how it was possible. The displayed list revealed a staggering drop in survivors, and a recurring name caught his attention. Jin Seowoon was stunned by the revelation. Hours earlier, a man in red stood watch from a tree. A desperate man, running for his life, begged his pursuer to stop. The pursuer, with a sinister grin, closed in on his prey. He landed a blow, knocking his target to the ground. The fallen man pleaded for mercy, aiming for a spot in the top 90. Jin Seowoon, radiating blue energy, loomed over the defeated man. The terrified man continued his desperate pleas for a single chance to survive. Jin Seowoon confidently declared his actions would reveal something important to everyone in the competition. A mysterious treasure chest materialized in a moonlit clearing, radiating an otherworldly glow. The name Nam Sagwan appeared, imbued with power and significance. It's day 3 of Cloyd's survival, and Jin Seowoon is shocked to see 54 people died overnight. He notes a dangerous player named Nam Sagwang, hoping to avoid him. Thinking about the top 10 ranking rewards, Jin Seowoon wonders if it might be more than just in-game items, perhaps a way to bring his acquired skills back to the real world. He snaps himself back to reality, realizing he needs to get moving. Soon, with a killer on the loose, Jin Seowoon felt a surge of power coursing through him. He recalled finding a magic book while looting. A game notification popped up about a magic book of Wind Ball. He eagerly confirmed his suspicion and activated the book. Suddenly, Jin Seowoon found himself instinctively chanting a spell. Startled, but excited, he cast Escrow Magic Wind Ball, unleashing swirling orbs of energy from his hand. Jin Seowoon, in his signature blue jacket, looked unimpressed with a small glowing orb. He unleashed a surge of power, the orb swirling around him with intense energy. The raw power exploded outwards, leaving Seowoon standing amidst the debris, finding the orb more potent than expected. He pocketed it, anticipating its usefulness, but then felt a sudden wave of exhaustion wash over him. Later, as the restricted zone on his map began to shrink, Seowoon decided to focus on resource gathering at the edges of the boundary. Jin Seowoon, confident that his chances of encountering other players had decreased, focused on gathering resources before the game's restricted zone shrank further. He spotted a figure from above. An old man with a long white beard observed. Jin Seowoon from a distance, intrigued. Half a day passed. Jin Seowoon, recalling houses marked on his map, searched the area. Suddenly, he noticed something unexpected and reacted with surprise. A figure leaped down, landing heavily. Jin Seowoon, alerted, sensed a presence. He quickly launched a wind attack. The wind ball struck something unseen, sending debris flying. Jin Seowoon wondered if it was just the wind, but a feeling of unease lingered. He clutched his chest, sensing someone had been there. A dark-haired man spots an injured person. He considers killing the injured person for their items, thinking they must be strong to have survived this long. He decides against it, prioritizing his own safety and leaving. He disappears quickly into the misty woods. A wounded warrior sighed, in relief, believing his opponent had left. Confident he could have won if not injured, he decided to loot quickly and escape. Suddenly he was struck, crying out in pain and shock. An unseen attacker thanked someone for their swift arrival. Jin Seowoon planned to quickly gather resources and head to the restricted zone. An older man complimented Seowoon's skills. Startled, Seowoon let his guard down. The old man reassured him, wanting only to ask a few questions. Seowoon asked who he was. The old man questioned if Seowoon would even recognize his name, noting everyone came from different walks of life. Seowoon seemed intrigued. The old man mused that Seowoon was unlike anyone he'd met. He then inquired if Seowoon had any prior experience in this kind of game. Jin Seowoon, in his blue jacket, was questioned by an older man about what he meant by play. The older man revealed he'd been observing Seowoon's quick adaptation, implying this world wasn't real. Startled, Seowoon wondered how long he'd been watched. He explained he'd played a similar game in his own world. Intrigued, the older man remarked on the interesting parallel. He also noted Seowoon's appearance marked him as an outsider. Later, as darkness fell, they realized it was their 3rd day there. They discussed the unusually large moon, comparing it to the smaller ones in their respective worlds. Finally, the old man asked Seowoon to explain the game he'd mentioned, but Seowoon expressed concern about their vulnerability to ambush in their current location. An older man in white suggested to Jin Seowoon they move to a more private location. Jin, apprehensive, questioned the man's intentions. The man warned Jin to remain silent to avoid unwanted attention. Suddenly, Jin cried out in pain as he was attacked. Later, under the moonlight, Jin reflected on the unforeseen consequences of this fateful meeting. An older man observed Jin Seowoon, commenting on his seemingly virtual actions. Jin Seowoon stammered, explaining it as a game from his highly advanced civilization. The man mused that this explained Jin Seowoon's quick adaptation. Jin Seowoon worried about how long he'd been watched. The older man revealed he'd been there since the beginning. Intrigued by Jin Seowoon, he clarified he meant no harm, just curious about their arrival. Jin Seowoon admitted he was equally clueless. The man reminded him of the similar game in his world. Jin Seowoon confirmed it was a game, played for fun with no real death. The old man admitted he didn't know the supernatural being's motives for abducting people. Jin Seowoon listened intently, a thoughtful expression on his face. The old man explained that the game was a huge opportunity, offering rewards upon death. Seowoon questioned the nature of these rewards. The old man clarified they included items acquired and skills learned within the game world. Seowoon pondered this, intrigued by the idea of magic as an opportunity. The old man suggested these abilities could change the lives of those struggling, implying Seowoon wasn't one of them. Seowoon retorted sharply, challenging the old man's assumption about his life. Jin Seowoon told the old man he wasn't anyone important back in his world. The old man chuckled, finding Seowoon's words interesting. Someone warned them to be quiet. The old man then noticed Seowoon's odd hand gestures and realized he didn't know how to use the map. As the old man explained the map and other survival tips, sharing stories, morning arrived. The old man apologized for taking up Seowoon's time, but Seowoon quickly denied it, grateful for the company and knowledge. He thought sticking with the old man might be his best chance for survival. Jin Seowoon, eager to repay the old man, asked if there was anything he could do. Seowoon desperately pleaded to learn martial arts, driven by his desire to survive. The old man hinted at the possibility, but with a grave warning. Seowoon, apprehensive, asked for clarification. The old man's response was chilling. Death. The old man left the decision to Seowoon. Jin Seowoon, clad in his blue jacket, listened intently as the elder spoke of a dangerous but potentially rewarding path to power. The elder clarified, implying, death is the price. Seowoon seemed hesitant but undeterred. He reminded the elder that death wasn't permanent in their world. The elder, startled, quickly agreed. Seowoon, desperate to grow stronger, pleaded for guidance. The elder, intrigued, considered the possibilities and declared it worth a shot. Seowoon, anxious, pressed for a solution. The elder calmly placed a hand on Seowoon's head, ready to assess his inner energy. Seowoon looked up, questioning. Jin Seowoon's inner energy shocked the old man, who compared it to a house dog's. Seowoon reminded him there's no such thing as inner energy in his world. The old man instructed Seowoon to sit in the lotus position. He warned Seowoon of agonizing pain, but stressed the importance of staying still. A worried Seowoon asked what to do, and the old man simply replied, endure it. A stern-faced, gray-haired man warned someone that failure would mean death. Jin Seowoon, in his usual attire, focused intently, his senses heightened to an extreme degree in a vibrant, windy landscape. Every breath felt like fire, and he could hear even the smallest sounds. An exclamation mark popped up, indicating sudden awareness of something. Jin Seowoon sensed impending doom. A blinding blue light engulfed him. Fear twisted his face as he braced for impact. His vision narrowed, focusing on a single intense blue point. Darkness consumed him. Jin Seowoon, still recovering from a grueling trial, sits up, exhausted but alive. He looks up, startled, as the old man announces the trial is complete. Jin coughs and retches, clearly feeling the after effects. The elder observes Jin's resilience, commenting on his strong constitution. The old man explains he has adjusted Jin's chi flow, changing his body. Jin, still weak, asks what comes next. The elder reminds Jin of his desire for rapid strength gain. The old man reveals he has manipulated Jin's soul, creating a special, inspiratory gate within him. Man explained to Jin Seowoon that he now has a new way to absorb energy. He then described the human composition of body, mind, and soul, held together by life chi. Jin Seowoon wondered what happened to this chi after death, guessing it disappeared. The man corrected him, stating it disperses and is absorbed by nature. Finally, he revealed a dark truth. Some people kill to absorb others' life chi. The old man explained that those who absorb life chi haphazardly can die, but he had modified Jin Seowoon's soul to absorb it safely. Jin Seowoon worriedly realized he could die. The old man reassured him, explaining that unlike others, Jin Seowoon started with no inner energy, making him a blank slate. The old man then asked if Jin Seowoon understood why he was given a forbidden technique. Jin Seowoon quickly grasped that it was because of the game's deadly setting. The old man praised his quick wit. Jin Seowoon confirmed he felt the lingering life key from yesterday's deaths. The old man finalized that while the technique relied on killing, that wasn't a problem in this world. Jin Seowoon was advised that eliminating others was a path to survival and significant growth. The old man prepared to leave, wishing Seowoon well. Seowoon stopped him, eager to learn his benefactor's name. The old man revealed his name as Jang Ocheon, also known as the Deep Valley Standing King, and the name of the technique he taught, Seowoon. Seowoon expressed deep gratitude, bowing respectfully. Jang Ocheon encouraged him to practice deep breathing to cultivate inner energy. He then addressed Seowoon, calling him Map. Seowoon confirmed, and Jang Ocheon, noting the convenient alias, promised to meet him again when fate allowed. Jin Seowoon watched someone vanish with impressive speed. He wished he had similar skills. Seowoon decided to stick to the original plan and head for the edge of the restricted area. Though teleported to the center instantly earlier, the return trip on foot was proving much longer. After walking for half a day, Seowoon realized the map was larger than he'd anticipated. Finally, nearing a village at nightfall, he noticed a lit lantern. Spotting a lit house at night, a cloaked figure suspects an easy target. He dashes towards the house, eager to farm some loot. Slipping inside, he finds the place seemingly empty. Disappointed, he rummages through the belongings, finding only minor supplies. Suddenly, Jin Seowoon's body tumbles from a hiding spot, seemingly dead, with a notification appearing, confirming the cloaked figure picked up some items. Exhausted after a sleepless night talking to the elder, Jin Seowoon finally collapses into bed. Night falls. The moon hangs high in the sky. Day 5 of Cloyd's survival dawns. Waking up, Jin Seowoon senses something's amiss. The house doesn't feel empty. He looks around, a flicker of suspicion in his eyes. Jin Seowoon woke up late, realizing the sun was already high. Someone opened a door. A scarred man entered and sighed in relief, happy to finally rest. Suddenly, his eyes widened in alarm. Jin Seowoon, armed with a crossbow, fired a bolt. With incredible speed, a martial artist launched a swift attack, annoying someone off-screen. Jin Seowoon, clad in his blue jacket, unleashed his Black Star Chi Palm with a determined glare. Throwing knives rained down as Seowoon continued his assault. enraging his opponent who accused him of using hidden weapons. The enraged opponent lunged at Seowoon with a sword. Jin Seowoon, in his blue jacket, landed on a defeated opponent. He grumbled about being woken up. The terrified man begged for his life, offering everything he owned. Unmoved, Jin Seowoon swiftly ended the man's pleas with an arrow. A game notification popped up, confirming the kill. Covered in blood, Jin Seowoon coldly declared his own determination to survive. Leave comments and see you in next chapters.